And 3, 2, 1. Oh my God.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of S.H.A.M.E. I'm Cory Kastle, and this woman right here, that's my lady. That's my woman. That's my partner. Why don't you
Oh,
go? Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who you are if they don't already know?
if you don't already know, and if you can't read the little thing right here, Alyssa Marie. Um, so happy to be here with you all, and thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Yo, that date was really long, huh? We said we'd be back.
Hey man, we're calling it on the fly, brother. We'll call it on the fly, brother.
we had a really great time. We had so much fun that we forgot to come back. JK. We had we were just carping DMs.
Yeah, we're carping the heck out of all those DMs.
Oh my God, life is fantastic. Shall we do a quick recap before we jump into a really great question?
So, can we call it a week cap?
A
A,
recap.
a recap of the week? A
You know,
week cap.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say it because I'm sure some people probably caught it. But like, did you hear me already? Like,
Yeah, I heard.
with your recap?
I heard your. Just a little like a little. You had a little glitch. You had a little.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
recap.
a little recap. Yes, let's recap.
Do you want to talk about the date?
Um. Well, I think you should talk about the day because
I mean,
like that was a anything I'm going to say is just going to mirror what you say. So maybe I'll say it first. The environment, the food, the music, the stars, all of it was fat as hell.
yeah, it was so good. Wow, it was so worth it. You know, and it I love that we're I want to say maybe 8 months ago, right? I think that's about right. I remember having a conversation with you, because like we were getting used to seeing each other every weekend, and then we had some changes in our lives separately, and I remember feeling like this, and it's normal. I felt like a fear of like, oh man, like, are we gonna plan to see each other? Like, I really like you. Like, I just remember like, worrying a little bit, and I remember saying like, well, I can't wait for us to start, maybe making plans to have maybe date nights, like at least
Mm-hmm.
once or twice a month, just for us, and we're doing it. Like, we're doing it, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
very true.
it's so cool, and it's like it's just like it's really great, and I appreciate it a lot. And it's just like having faith, and when and when you're with somebody that values that kind of stuff, like it's gonna come. I was just so um it was cool, and we've got a couple of things coming up where it's kind of already planned, like, for us, so we don't have to really like plan for a while, for a couple
Hey,
months. Like,
hey, do you know what today is? Did you see I posted on my Facebook what today was?
well, your memory said 6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but so it was
And
11
mm-hmm.
year surgery.
That was when I was admitted. Yeah, that was when I was admitted
Wow.
today, 11 years ago.
Do you want to talk about it real quick, like a small, like a
Yeah, I mean, it, um,
for anyone who
well,
watches this and doesn't know? So
yeah. Anybody who's watching who doesn't know, in 2011, I had a craniotomy, which means they gave me it's a brain surgery. So basically, they sliced my head open from where these headphones are, is where I have a scar under all this hair. So if you're watching the video, that's along here. I have a scar right there,
Hmm.
and they removed an AVM that I had, an arterial venous malformation, and it was mainly right here in my right frontal lobe, which like a lot of the research that we were doing going into it was that holds a lot of what your like personality is. So we're very afraid that I was going to come out of that and not be the same anymore. But cracking jokes from the moment I woke up, so I guess I stayed the same. If anything, I just became. I think I became smarter. I think I became more insightful and somebody who I'd want to be around way more after that had happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's literally a near death experience for sure, like 1,000%. And I'm so thankful to know you, and I'm thankful that you made it, and you got like a second chance. Like how to go back to Shine Down. Sometimes goodbye is a second chance. Um, it's it's really, you know what, you're a walking miracle.
Thank you, thank
Hmm.
you. I'm
Hmm.
I'm so glad, so glad.
I'm
And
glad too.
when these days come up, when the memories of these days come up, I just have to, I have to count the blessings. You know what I mean? I have to uh, go into the gratitude that I have, the and all the bonus. Like I could have not done anything. Like I could have expired right then, 11 years ago,
Hmm.
and the fact that I didn't, and I got all this extra bonus, and I've made all these new relationships, and I've formed all these great like forever bonds, since then, and I've created all these like memories since then that like I otherwise wouldn't have had
Hmm.
if I didn't survive that.
Hmm.
I'm super duper grateful, and I'm a survivor. I'm a champion. I'm still a champion. No limit champion.
No limit champion.
Still no limit champion.
I love that.
And you know, I super psyched that I got to come out to the ring to my new theme song this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It was so cool. You looked so hype. It was really cool to see that, and I was happy to be there.
Mhm. I was happy you were there too.
Yeah. It was a really nice moment. And it felt like a Hallmark movie. I felt like I watched like the playback like 5 times already, and I'm just like, wow, if I wasn't us, I would want to be us. Like there's so much love there. And I you know, you coming out and pulling me out like that, like, was the equivalent of me like singing to you on stage. It's just, I never in my million years thought that I would.
What was
uh,
funny as not to interrupt you, but how funny is it that I pulled you out as you were singing for me?
yeah,
It
yeah,
was, it was pretty synced up.
that is a cool little, yeah, because you're the
Hmm.
warrior.
Hmm.
And
I
like,
am the warrior.
hmm and yeah, I never would have thought that I would have a partner like you, and it really means a lot to me, you know.
What makes it like really cool is that it is this week. You know what I mean? It is this week is the memory all coming, and like me being that survivor, me being that warrior, and continuing to be the no limit champion.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wow. I didn't even think about the sync of that. What timing? What
right.
timing? There's
Divine.
divine. There's no coincidence, as Dami would say. I tell you, every episode I mention her. um, so yeah, and we're both embarking on new adventures, which is great. Like you got a new job, I got new jobs. Like I'm always like, well, you know me. It's that's old news. Anytime I tell somebody, oh yeah, I'm somewhere, they're like, what aren't you doing? Like it's not even a surprise.
Well, the funny thing about this, and the same as what I do with my podcast, Evolving with Cory Kastle, on all streaming platforms, I always say like, how important it is to me that like things are like little timestamps on stuff, and the fact that this is that for us, you know what I mean? That this is that for us, is really cool. And the fact that like I'm thinking about like when we're listening back to the episode that we did last time, which would be episode 5.
Mm.
Uh,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh yeah, I was getting a job. Like we started it out, and I was like, I got a new job, and I was like, I already turned that job down, and I got a different job, and I'm starting that job today.
Woo! I'm so excited for you. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's way up your alley, and it's giving you so much more value.
Mhm.
So I'm proud of you for the record,
Thank you.
just in case you didn't know.
Oh, I be knowing.
You be knowing.
I be knowing.
Um, and yeah, and I'm a vocal teacher now, which is another timestamp for us because we talked about this like
We
6 months
talked about
ago
this.
in
We
May.
was that when we
Yeah,
when
4 months.
when we did the stoned episode.
That was like in February, I think. The stoned
Was it?
episode. I think. I don't know. Uh, yeah, it was a little after that. I think. I just remember being in the car with you, and you were all you started manifesting it. You were like, this is it. Like this is on your path. Like
Hmm.
you're gonna and it's funny because it was a corporation music school versus like a homemade like cool like
Family
community
owned. Yeah.
family owned music school and
Support
the
local
corp
business.
yeah support local businesses, but the corporation didn't hire me for whatever reason. I didn't get past their little website like questionnaire, and then the homies around the corner, which is closer to me anyway, they're like, nah man, you're cool. Like and
And you're back at the gym. You're back at the gym. That's something that's super rad. And I came and worked out with you at your gym.
you
We
did.
haven't had a chance to talk about that on here because I think that happened in the interim,
And
in the
our
time
yeah.
between. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit. Tell me, how did you like it?
Um, it was a challenge, and I liked it. I liked the challenge. It was like doing seminars, like
Yeah.
running through drills, like basically what I kind of grew up doing, like running through drills, like in wrestling school.
Hmm. Yeah, you. Oh my God, it was really fun being there with you. I felt like I was on top of the world. Like I love being there,
You're
but
like,
like just having
no,
you there,
no man are ever here, and once one comes, it's my man.
it was great. And the ladies love you. You know, they're like,
You were like,
"This-
you all smell so jealous. You smell so jealous.
don't say
I'm
that.
kidding.
Don't say
I'm
that.
kidding around. I'm totally messing around.
Oh my God.
Totally messing around. Totally
I
kidding around.
mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
it, we're having a good time.
yeah, no, it's so fun though. Yeah, like you're definitely if I was going there and I wasn't me and I was like, damn, her man's hot, like that, like I would totally, I'd be like, but yeah, it was so fun having you there, and it was cool because like you were like right next to me, and like when we had the mini breaks, like I remember like turning around and giving you like a fist pump, and like just like the motivation was like super super wild,
Yeah,
and even in moments that I felt
yeah.
like
We fisted a couple times through the whole thing.
even even in moments where I I felt like oh, I'm out of breath, I can't, I would see you next to me, I'm like, you can't show him that you're easily gonna give up, you gotta be strong, like you gotta be strong for your partner.
Well, you're like a real pro on the whole thing because like I know like that's all stuff that you're used to doing on the reg. So
Mhm.
I was like, all right, well, you know, when I start doing it on the reg, I'll be as much of a pro as her.
Yeah, dude, come through. I mean, we could talk about the extra stuff about that
Hmm.
later if you do want to come more often.
Yeah.
So we'll try and figure that out.
That's a combo for later.
Yeah, for later. But I'm glad that you're interested in that. Yeah, it's so fun. I love it, and I already feel my body going back to the way that I had it almost a year ago. And and we both know that like it was not good for my mental health to be away so
Yeah, dude,
long from
getting
something like
back on
that.
the fitness track for both of us has
Yeah,
been massively important,
yeah,
and like I can feel it in even our just like holding each other in our arms, and just as far as like just like when we see each other's faces, we're just like, all right, we're what have you done? And then like I'll FaceTime with you when I'm at the gym or when I'm coming home from the gym, and you'll FaceTime with me when you're coming home from the gym or something, or like you know like today you came in from the gym and I was still there. So
yeah. It was cool.
it's all neat stuff.
It's so fun. I really appreciate like the journey that we're on. I just have to say, like I really appreciate that. You know, our worlds are like, we're doing it, but like it's a nice pace, and little by little, like we get to see like more of each other in different ways, and kind of like learn, like we're still learning about each other. It's so crazy. Like I shared a story with you today that was like a fond memory, and I can't believe I never told you about it. And it, because like it's one of my favorite memories, and you're like, nope, didn't hear that one. I was like, oh my god. Like so it's cool that I feel like just when I think like, you know he knows everything about me. No, like there's still some, like, it's an onion, it's the onion, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Shrek.
Uh-huh. So yeah, I'm
I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder.
that's a nice boulder. Use a nice boulder, baby. Use it real. So yeah, for the record, grateful, so grateful. And yes, the mental health has been great for both of us. And you know so yeah.
Want to play our message?
Yeah, bring
Uh,
it up.
a quick reminder to anyone who's watching or listening: if you follow the tracker on the bottom, we have a voicemail number set up where you can give us a call, leave us an anonymous voicemail. If you want it to be anonymous, if you don't want to share who you are, that's fully understandable. We throw no shame in your direction. Um, also, Alyssa, do you want to tell them what you came up with the name of this show
Yes. So
before we play this message?
this is called Shame Cast, and we're casting out shame, but also shame is an acronym for self help and managing emotions. So we tackle everything from, you know, relationship things that come up, and, or internalized shame, maybe some family trauma. Or if you're just asking for advice on something like super random and you just need an extra ear, we're here. Um, and we're not licensed therapists, and just for the record, and a little disclaimer, like we're just two people that have had a lot of life experience and
No,
continue.
not experts on shame.
Right. I mean we've well i mean we've overcome and are still learning to
Well,
get out of our own shame.
yeah,
So
so a fair share of our own
yeah.
is still being worked on.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right.
And yeah, so if you guys need some assistance or want to vent, we're here. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and play this message.
All right, so I have kind of a two-part question, but when it comes to dating as someone who's out here, trying to find their twin flame or trying to find someone that's good for them, when is it a good time to introduce like the trauma and like the things that you've been through prior to someone that you're interested in? So that way, you don't make it a trauma bond, but you do kind of let them know where you've been and where you want to go. Any thoughts? Thank you.
Hmm.
All right. Well,
This is a good one.
I let you go with this one.
Phew. All right.
I'll let you take this one.
Remember your training. That's what's like playing in my head. Um, you know, I think there definitely and I think this is different for everyone. I don't want to say that there's a cookie cutter way to do this, but a lot of it is trial and error. So, um, if so, I feel like I always have to use myself as an example. Um, but it's like, hmm, well, for anyone, man, woman, they, them, anyone that has had some kind of traumatic thing, because we all have trauma, we all have had it. So if you're out there and you're searching for that special person, it's going to take some time. And I think the number one thing that can be focused on is what's going on internally. And once you start unlearning all of the traumatic and reactive responses that maybe you've had from these traumatic situations, talk therapy, meditation, even asking yourself certain questions, like get a journal and start kind of asking yourself, like, well, why do I feel this way when this happens? Or what is this feeling that's coming up for me? Or kind of like dissecting yourself, because in order for you to find that person, you have to really know who you are at your core, and you have to know what are your boundaries, what are your um me
Non-negotiables.
yeah, thank you, because I was trying to think of a different word and it wasn't coming. But it's the same thing, non-negotiables. So for me, example time, I'll talk about that list that I wrote. So during the pandemic, you know, and like a little before that, I went through my little phase of, frogs. And but in between that, there was a lot of internal growth and a lot of like putting the microscope on myself, and I'm still doing it. But the patterns that I learned from my parents. So that's another thing, like, is very much worth studying, is look at your family dynamic and understand that your family dynamic and your parents, they did as much as they knew how to do, and we have to take away any kind of power that we are still allowing them to have over us, as far as like, well, I'm this way because of you, or I learned this because of you. And it's like, just understand that they did that the best that they could with the resources that they had. So right now we're in a really great time. We're in the information era. We have all this, abundance of knowledge around us. So definitely, like, there's a book out there by Nicole LePera, I think I said that right. And it's called How to Do the Work. And that's a great book to start with. You can get it on Audible, or you can get it on Amazon. And it's a great workbook. And she really helps you kind of take a deep dive within yourself and unlearn the patterns and unlearn the lack of boundaries that maybe we have. But yeah, definitely, like, write down your non-negotiables, and like, don't have a specific person in mind when you do it. Just sit down and be like, what would my ideal partner, what would I want that person to be for me? And as you're doing that, also implicate those traits that you want your partner to have for yourself first. So an example, again, I'll use myself.
What would Rue say?
What would Rue say?
RuPaul.
What would RuPaul say? Honey,
How you gonna love somebody else you don't love
can't love
yourself?
yourself. Hmm.
Yeah.
How the hell you gonna love anybody else? Like,
You don't love yourself. How the hell you gonna love somebody else?
yes, you better say it. You better say it, babe. But it's true. It's so true. That's why she's queen. But take yourself out on dates. and kind of nurture yourself. We come back to ourselves. We come back to parenting ourselves and giving to ourselves what we lacked in our early child relationships. And when we do that, you are subconsciously retraining your brain and um, your magnetism within you. So then you're going to start attracting these people in your life that are going to mimic how you treat yourself. So if you're attracting, partners or people even that, are a little standoffish, or they're flaky, or they only want you during certain times of the day, there's something within you that you could be neglecting within yourself. And you kind of have to hold yourself at a higher standard, because then you're going to be weeding out all of those um, types of people. When you start to make yourself of higher value, meaning like, nope, sorry, I'm not available after 9 p.m. Nope, sorry, I'm not available, for a booty call, or I'm not available for this, that, and the third, and then even just going out on dates and like kind of just taking it really slow. You can still date people while you're working on yourself, I think, anyway. Like, there's a level of having comfort within yourself.
Yeah, you're an example of that. You're still working on yourself.
I'm still working on myself,
Yeah.
and I'm happy that you're here, and you're seeing it, and you're watching it happen in real time,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still working on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm here and I'm seeing it happen in real time. And we both are kind of like, it's cool though, because when you do find somebody like that who is open about where they are, because then eventually there you will find that person, you'll attract that person, you'll magnetize that person towards you. And then when you guys do get closer, and when you feel safe, I'm going to say it again, when you feel safe enough to open up, um and you have to also kind of be conscious to let that person be very aware, like, hey, listen, what I'm about to tell you right now, I hope that you have the space for me to understand where I'm coming from. And um I've been through XYZ, and I see my life going this way, and I hope that you know you also see it going a certain way. And like kind of like open up a little bit about, just little by little. Like, you don't have to go like, crazy, like I think it was like a couple of months. Like, well, I mean, our situation was different. I mean, I told you everything day one in an
Yeah.
interview.
Well,
um
yeah, yeah. We didn't meet each other with
the
plans to be
intention.
dating each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that intention, which is also something that would be cool too. Like, you never know, you could
Mm-hmm.
just click with someone, and they get it. And but again, it's all about how you treat yourself internally. And once you do that, and you're secure in yourself, and you know the nutrition, the self-care, the you know just doing all for you and caring for you, that person's going to show up. And then you know you're your own best judgment. I think some people wait a couple months, some people are like
Well,
kind of like right with it.
yeah. I mean, I think I've given the advice before to not lead with your damage,
Hmm.
because, uh, like, anybody who's an adult has damage, and every other adult should just know that, right?
Hmm.
So like, it's kind of like uh, as you get more comfortable with the person,
Hmm.
like, and depending on how much they're sharing with you, this is why I'm saying, this is why I'm also thinking about saying, like, don't force, oh, this person, they've got everything I want as far as this and this and this and this and this, they must be my twin flame.
Hmm.
It's not always going to be it's not going to be always every single thing that you want.
Hmm.
Sometimes 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 what you want can't find you unless you know all of what you want.
Right.
Like, your what you want's not looking for you if you don't know what it is that you want. I guess.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, like I made this so silly. Uh, an old friend of mine had like a dating app, and on the app he put like that he was this diagnosis, this diagnosis, this diagnosis. I'm like, don't lead with your damage, dude. Like, you know, it's you're only going to get damaged people if you lead with your damage.
Hmm.
Um, or maybe it's different. Maybe because somehow guys who are in let's heteronormative relationship. Let's say guys tell a female what what's what their damage is, and then they're like, oh, I can fix you, but like that's also an unhealthy dynamic as well. Like,
Hmm.
you're you're gonna learn quickly that you probably weren't all the way right on your I mean your intentions were great, but uh, the person doesn't need to be fixed by somebody else. They need to fix themselves.
Hmm. And that's another thing that is like something to think about too. It's like, well, if they're willing to do it on their own time, can you be patient and just like ride it out? Or if it's something that is not for you, you got to be strong enough to walk away. And, you know, but it's kind of it. I mean, but again, like it's your call. Like you got to feel comfortable and both parties have to feel safe to be able to kind of trust each other, because like this is like we're not in high school anymore. We're not in our 20s anymore either, a lot of us. Like, you
Well,
know,
some of us still are. Some of us still are. Not me, but some people.
well, I mean, yeah, the 20-year-old, sure. But I'm saying like if like when you get past a certain age, like it's not so much about leading with the damage and, using your damage or your like your self damage as a crutch. It's definitely like, hey, are you gonna move forward, or are you gonna stay stagnant?
it, sometimes it's about your own compromise. It's about what decisions you decide to make, what not negotiables, non-negotiables you decide to make negotiables. So,
Right.
sometimes there's exceptions
Yeah.
to those kind of things, but really like write it out like Alyssa did.
Yeah, man. I wrote that out. And I mean literally like till this day, like you still match. You still match.
You match.
I match. You do though. I mean, like it's been so mind-blowing. Like it's wonderful. And I mean, if you practice manifestation, just write your new man manifesto as Adrian Everhart is her name, would say. She has a thing. You can go find her on YouTube after this. And but it's kind of similar. Like you have to write down what you want your ideal partner to be, man, woman, whoever it is, to be that person for you. And just remember that no matter what, you are your person for you first. Because there will be times where if your twin flame, like you're gonna have some days where it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna want to like you gotta like go and just take care of yourself, and then you guys regroup, and you're good. So but it's definitely like you have to time when that conversation happens. And I don't mean literally time it. Like you just got to feel it out and know when it's the right time, and only you would know that. So your safety always comes first, and kind of seeing the other person where they're at outside of
Where they at?
rose
Where they at?
where they at outside of rose colored glasses, and really take in who and where they are and how much they tell you about themselves. And if they're leveling with you and they're like, yo, I see you and I'm here and this is where I'm at, where are you at, then and there's no know that there's no games, there's no like weird agenda. You just be straight out honest with each other, and then you take it from there.
Yeah.
And whatever you do,
Mhm.
don't fall into the societal thing of feeling like you need to be at a certain place at a certain time.
That's so easier said than done.
Oh yeah, I know.
I know. I know you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, don't like I said, don't force anything, don't rush anything. Uh, pay attention to red flags. Uh, all of those things are best from what I can what I can tell. I'm no expert, but
Mhm.
those things are usually uh, play out in real time, and you can see, you know, you can gauge and suss out like what's going to be the thing that's worth sharing, and the things that are you're better kept to yourself, like and your safety levels of like if, is this a safe place to share
Mhm.
what maybe um, redefine that what you're sharing with them isn't as much damage, but it's experience that you've had. Maybe it's life experience. Maybe it's lessons you've learned,
Mhm.
and you know, gauge, gauge them on small things. Maybe play games and mess with them and tell them that like you're a prostitute or something, and then no, I'm just,
Baby.
I'm just, that's what I'm saying. Like really, like start out with smaller stuff. Maybe it's just the stuff of like here's a thing that I'm insecure about and here's why, or you know and and it's got to be like I said, it's going to be like a tennis match,
Right, 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 right.
like
Yeah.
don't like like pow, like pop it at somebody as hard as possible, serve.
Yeah.
But but for sure, no matter how good you are at tennis, you're never as good as the wall.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, yeah, and like that's a great point that you brought up. Like, darn, come back. I had it. Um, well, safe enough to share and to talk about, but like, you know, also don't hold back anything. Like when something bothers you or when something, comes up for you either. Um, you have to be vulnerable and brave in that.
And also, like, it doesn't hurt to have a friend to talk to about it, or a loved one to talk to about like the status of where this new connection is headed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Maybe reach out to a friend, or reach out to us. You can reach
Yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not hard to get a hold of. Anybody who's going through this, I'm saying we're not hard people to get a hold of if you want to just talk about this kind of thing. And that's a thing that leads me to ask you: is there anything more that you want to say? Thank you so much for sending in that question. Thank you. Thanks so
Yes.
much. Appreciate your time and your effort and your love. Thank you. And I want to invite anybody else. Call us at 856-209-4413. Leave us a little voicemail. If nothing else, just call it and listen to our outgoing message that we recorded, cuz it's cute. Just
It's
check it
cute.
out.
It's fun. I really enjoyed it. It was fun to do. I don't know. I guess the last thing I can add is if you do ask family or friends for advice on your new situation, take it with a grain of salt
Well,
because
sometimes they'll just give you unsolicited advice, and
mm,
some
hmm
people think they know better when they're losers themselves.
Davey. Well, yeah, or like just some people, they just
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah, the,
It's still your best judgment. Like it's still your life. It's
consider every source, like I always say.
yeah.
Consider
Consider the
every source.
source.
Yeah.
Um, because not everyone. It's your relationship at the end of the day,
Mhm.
and you have to go based on how it makes you feel, and and just kind of everything else that the advice that you look for, like take the points and think about them, and then, if it's worth bringing up to your partner and saying, "Hey, let's talk about this," and just see where they are, just to help you validate, because there's so many opinions out there, and there's so much like going on in the world already, and so many articles, and like what what's toxic, what's not, what's counted as a red flag, what's not. It's really like the only things that should be determined red and green flags are what it is for you. What are you willing to tolerate? What are you willing to not tolerate? I mean, some things are definitely like, yo, that's pretty bad. But like, I mean, it's everything else I feel like is kind of up in the air. It's up to you. So I hope we helped.
I hope so. But thanks for doing this with me. This is a good time. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're digging it.
Yeah, dude. You asking me?
Yeah, you. I'm not asking. I'm talking to you.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
talking.
Oh my
Not
god.
asking.
Yes. This is you wanted this is great. I want to say it again. You wanted to help give me a voice, and I really appreciate that you were the catalyst in that. What's up?
Bro. Oh, the background music stopped. But
Yeah, that stopped like a while ago.
yeah. Whoops. Well, I tried
Whoops.
to. I guess I effed it. It's a learning curve. It's an
Learning curve.
evolving process.
No worries. Well, we go through that, uh, you know, on the daily. It's all good.
There, it's back.
I was like, what happened to the vibe? I was like, I know the energy is like a little weird right now, but hold on, like,
It's because I said losers, because I said that consider the source, and consider what losers are telling you how to live your life. Uh, we're winners. Whatever. We were just talking about you. We were just talking the other day about folks who just have to be offended. Folks that just have to, like, part of their identity is being offended by stuff.
hmm
Like that's what they need. That's their fuel. That's like that. And it's like, yeah, maybe 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 when it comes to sharing your stuff with somebody new, maybe try to be on the lookout for people like that.
yeah. You don't want to like, yeah. It's weird. There's a lot of like SJW in the world too. Like, I mean, there's some things that are worth, you know, bringing to light, but like it's all how you say it too. And that's another point to bring up too. Whenever you feel ready to share the traumas and the lessons, and to kind of gauge where you guys are at, it's about how you say it. And sometimes we get it right, sometimes we're human. um and just give yourself grace, give the other person grace, and just try to meet in the middle, and work at your own pace. And I'm rhyming, not on purpose.
Uh-huh. You start walking what's that song? Oh, it's like, I'll start walking your way, and you start walking mine, and we meet in the middle near that old Georgia pine. Do you know the song? It's a country song.
No,
All
but
right,
I'll look
I'll
it up.
I'll 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 put it in the comments so anybody. I'll put it in the comments section on the YouTube below. Also, check it out. If you check out the show and you've listened to the whole show, you've subscribed. Thank you for that. If you haven't subscribed, what you waiting on? Go ahead and
What you
hit that
waiting on?
subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Let us know you exist.
Yeah, dude.
Follow us on social media outlets at
uh
Alyssa Marie Alyssa_Marie_ romance. And
at
you can follow me at Cory Kastle,
Cory Kastle.
written right there.
And you
And
can follow
yeah,
sorry
go ahead.
and you can follow our new Instagram page, S.H.A.M.E_cast, and you'll see our little picture. And I'll be posting some clips of some highlights of some good talks. So if you don't feel like hanging out for a half hour or so watching this, you can just catch our cool clips and find us there and follow us on our journey. And sometimes you can follow me on Philly Covers on TikTok. Sometimes I post our video adventures, and it's a wonderful life with you, and it's a wonderful adventure. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm happy to do this with you.
Mm. Thank you so much. I'm happy to do this with you as well. You're the best. I love you.
I love you.
Everybody else, thank you. Thank you so much. Our hearts are full.
Full.
Be fun. Have safe.
Be fun. Have safe.
Bye.
Bye.